This is Dave with Yargmetal, and I'm with Erik of Bombay Black.
What's up, y'all?
And I have a couple questions.
All right.
First off, it's been 5 years, I think, since your last album, Walk of Shame.
Yep.
And so, of course, we're curious. Anything coming out?
Eventually, yes. We normally do one record every 2 years, and unfortunately, life gets in the way. Our drummer, who actually lives 3 hours from here in Pickett, he's working on the family farm. It was too much of a strain for him, so he left. And then Ty's wife got a really awesome job in Dallas, and so he moved, and that's a lot of gas expended going to Dallas and eating at Torchy's Tacos every morning and whatnot. They moved back about a year ago now, so we're kind of in a holding pattern. Getting a drummer around here, and most musicians, I think, will agree, in most music scenes, you have a handful of drummers that are really awesome, but they're already in money gigs. All the rest of them want to play money gigs, so they're not going to devote their time and energy to doing an original project where there's no money guaranteed. So, that being said, we decided at this point we do have a new record coming out. We have re-recorded Mercy, because it just sounds night and day, different and better. So that'll be coming out. When is depending on when Justin gets off his butt and cuts us some solos, honestly.
Okay.
And even he admits he's been dragging, but he's going to be.
So that's
getting
since
that
the 5 years. I mean,
Yeah.
with all the moves, and
Right.
I understand that.
And Justin just graduated.
Now, how hard has it been in these 5 years to kind of keep things alive? Because everybody has trying to live their life and get things going.
It's actually not. It's not been too difficult. It's just, you deal with what comes across. You just, here's a problem, deal with it, move on to the next one. And I mean, we've been working on other things. Worked on some stuff for the Kibble. We did the Romeo Riot project. Ty's done. He did the last couple of House of Lords records. Everybody's keeping busy, but there's. You got to deal with what's in front of you at the time, and unfortunately it costs money to do this.
Yeah.
Unless you are Bon Jovi and you can go out and sell out at $150 a ticket, we don't really have that option.
So it's the passion that keeps you going.
Oh yeah, it has to be. I mean, I write music because I have to. I record because
Well,
I
we're glad
like
you
it.
do.
Otherwise I have to find some other way to allay the demons, I guess. Peter Steele of Typo and Negative referred to creating music as sonic therapy, and that's exactly what it is. I think for most musicians that's what it is. There's that need to plug in and crank it up, or if you're a drummer, to just beat the living Christ out of everything in front of you. And it's something you do, and if you can turn it into a monetary format, then so much the better.
You brought up Romeo Riot.
Mm-hmm.
That's through you and Ty.
That was something. It was something that Kibble put together.
What's going on with that? And by the way, we actually play a couple songs off that.
Well, cool. Well, Mark, God, his last name totally escapes me right now. It's still early. Mark, as he's got cerebral palsy, and it was starting to attack his throat. Finally, he's got a great voice, but here in the last couple of years, it really started to do some damage. So he had to go on a forced vocal rest. But he's evidently in much better shape now and doing really good. So when John called me up, said, "Hey, what do you think about Romeo 2?" I'm like, "How's Mark?" Because I'm not a fan of groups that change vocalists for no reason. I understand if there's a falling out, or somebody retires, or
bites the dust,
or dies. Yeah, that kind of goes. You got to do something there if you want to keep going. But I don't want to do that if we can't keep the core group together. I think there's no point in it. And he said Mark's doing well, so
good.
We're gonna get moving on that. Jace is already writing some stuff. He's really the main songwriter. He knows that style. He writes those high elevated themes and those great vocals. I come in, I write tacky stuff. I mean, if you look at the Romeo Riot record, the last song on the album, that was mine. Mine is the one with profanity in it. All the other ones are nice, light and fluffy, and really, really cool, and really hit all those melodic check boxes. And mine's just it's stupid, dumb rock. That's what I write.
Well, here's a question that some people have asked.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seems to love the big drum sound and the big guitar sound on the albums. But we noticed that Ty is the producer, if that's correct.
Yes.
And we're wondering, how come the bass isn't louder? Right?
Because Ty he's the overall thinker. I mean, he is the producer, but a lot of times he'll send me mixes, go, what do you think of this? And I'll listen for little things. I mean, in the cases of our stuff, other people, that's not my concern.
Because most bass players, you know what they'd do if they had
most bass players crank. They want to be more Lemmy than Lemmy.
Yeah.
They want the bass to be a lead instrument, and it really doesn't work that way. So he understands. He's doing constant comparison listening to other albums while he's mixing a particular project. And say, oh, we want it to sound kind of like this and this and this. He'll say, fine, and he'll have them choose their 3 particular songs, and he will compare his mixes to what's going on there. And he won't do a full-on rip-off, but an approximation, so that they get the sound that they're looking for. Meanwhile, everything fits right on whatever speakers you're playing it on. I mean, he tries out on a variety of speakers, and we play it in the car, we play it in the jam box, in the shop, we play it in his studio, I play it in my studio, I play it through headphones, earbuds. You want a wide swath so that you hit everything's right, so it doesn't matter what you're playing it on, it sounds right.
Well, he does a good job because, like I said, if it was left to any other bass player, it would have been really dominant. But in other words, he's actually great bass player, but seems like more of a producer of anything. He really gets that concept. He's the overall sound.
He's trying to be more of a mixer as opposed to a recording engineer. His thing is mixing, and I think he does a great job at it. When we work on our stuff, I'll record stuff at my studio and then I send it to him. And then if I need to make a tweak in my place, I'll do that. But pretty much it's just he takes what I give him and makes it sound right.
Okay, cool. Now, playing out. Have you guys got any plans to be playing out?
Not anytime soon. We actually have a new project.
Okay.
With some friends of ours. It's myself and Ty and Justin from Bombay, a local singer that we've been friends with, great singer named Phil Houston. And then another guitar player named Luke Williams, who's usually playing country. He's more of a country picker.
Interesting.
But the guy's just an incredible player. I mean, he does all the chicken and picking and hybrid and everything else. I mean, he's into, George Jones, the Hank, the really good country guitar players.
Do you have a name for this project?
The Resistance.
And how would you rate it as far as rock?
Oh, it's rock.
It's heavy?
It's not heavy rock. When we started, it was going to have a bit more of a Blackberry Smoke, Eagles feel to it. And at the time, I was playing guitar. And we couldn't find drummers are hard to find around here. There's plenty of drummers, but there's very few good drummers. And good drummers that are also willing to put in the time for an original project. And I finally said, look, I used to play drums. Why don't I just shift back over?
Oh, really?
So I'm back on drums now. I had to buy a kit.
Interesting.
So, but we brought in Justin, and there really is a yin-yang thing going there. Because, again, Luke is very much, he's a country guy for whom Slippery When Wet was his Bible when he was a kid, as he puts it. Justin plays all the really heavy, he's more the heavier Eddie Van Halen, the more modern sensibility. Luke, for being 25, is very much old school rock. Allman Brothers, big Skynyrd fan. A lot of your big, players, studio players back in the day, so it really makes for an interesting combination.
Well, after you come out with some new stuff with Bombay Black, would you consider playing out?
Oh, I'd love to.
I'm telling you, we would love to see it.
I'd love to. It's just, we gotta find a drummer.
Well, you find one, because I guarantee you, we will be at the show. I'll be at the show, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple I would like to get, but both of them, I mean, one of them is in a group here locally called Tragically White. They play every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend. They play all over the United States, and he certainly deserves that. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I'll put him up against Tommy Lee or Bill Bruford, Terry Bozzio, any of those guys.
Oh, you're old school too, Bozzio. Yeah.
Hey, well,
you're a drummer.
I'm a kid of the '80s too, so.
Hey, speaking of the '80s, you ever play the M3?
No.
Because you guys, Bombay Black would probably go down pretty good there.
I think
even though you're not an '80s band.
I think we would. Well,
I think you'd go down good.
And here's the problem with that: you get the '80s, the Monsters of Rock. Now, I think Kickin' Valentina just played the MORC, and that's great. They're awesome, good on them. I haven't heard them with the new singer. I heard them with the old singer. Great band, but people have to be willing to get out of the mindset that if it's not their band, it's not worth anything. And it's unfortunate, but they are out there. I see their posts all the time on Facebook and on message boards that, if it's, and it's funny because and I hesitate to use this term now because it's really more of a brand name than a genre title, the melodic rock scene. This scene prides itself in, hey, if you like this band and this band and this band, you'll love this band. Well, these are three old school groups. Yeah. Well, here's the new group. And well, they have to say that in all the promotional items. And you have to break that cycle and get people to realize, it's okay to get into new bands that are doing that old school, because there's plenty of them out there. Now, granted, around here in this state, I'm pretty sure we are the only band doing what we do, which really makes it frustrating, trying to find gigs, because mostly around here it's Americana, jam band, country, blues, out the yin-yang. I think if we were out west, Midwest, as far as Vegas, I think we'd be doing great. But it is what it is. But in order to get on a lot of these, the Rocklahomas, the M3 and whatnot, well, that becomes a buy-on situation. Yeah. And for one, I'm Poe. So.
Yeah, I get it. Well, look, I won't take up much of your time because you got voiceovers and stuff, so I'll let you go.
I got time.
So I just want to thank you for your time.
Sure, thanks for coming out.
And hey, guys, go buy some Bombay Black. Thank you.
Thank you.